already incredible story gets a whole lot better on the biggest stage in sprint car racing. How's everybody doing? I'm Jay Elson, and this is Midco Motorsports. Well, following last year's tragic death of Jason Johnson, his wife Bobby decided the best way to honor her husband's memory was to keep on racing. She then hired David Gravel to help carry the torch in October of 2018. And while things have worked out well from the start, the team really started to hit its stride in July. Last week, they rode that momentum all the way to Knoxville. One of our local guys was a big part of the story on night one of qualifying. Grand Forks native Mark Dobmeyer led the first 4 laps from the pole before ceding the top spot to Washington native Trey Starks in turn 3. While Dynamite eventually fell back to 4th, Starks kept the hammer down the rest of the way. He led the final 15 circuits for his first ever win at Knoxville Raceway. Despite the victory, Stark stood just 5th in the points at the end of the night. The top spot belonged to Aaron Reitzel with Tim Kading and Paul McMahon sitting 2nd and 3rd respectively. Donnie Schatz overcame some early engine issues to crack the top 10. After earning the last transfer spot in the B, Schatz ended the night by climbing from 24th to 11th in the A. Tonight, too, now fast qualifier Shane Stewart takes a hard tumble on lap 1 of his heat race. Stewart was okay, but he was also done for the evening. Fast forward to the main event, pole setter Brock Zierfoss shoots into the lead with Brad Sweet and David Gravel in pursuit. Lap 7, Gravel races by Sweet for the runner-up spot, which proved to be an even bigger move moments later. Zierfoss experienced an electrical problem on a lap 10 restart, allowing Gravel to take over the lead, and he would not let it go. Gravel followed up Sunday's Capitani Classic victory with an even bigger win Thursday. Gravel finished the night 2nd in the points to Aaron Reitzel, which meant those two would start side by side on the front row for Saturday's A main. 14 other guys also secured their spots in the big show by the end of the night Thursday. South Dakota's Matt Jewell stood 12th overall to qualify for a 2nd straight year. Meanwhile, North Dakota native Schatz and Dobmeyer were just outside that top group. They each earned spots toward the front of Saturday's B feature. Friday is now dubbed Hard Knocks Night, and boy did it live up to the name. Guys laying it all on the line for one of the final 4 spots in Saturday's finale, and that led to all kinds of destruction, including this wreck involving South Dakota native Justin Henderson at the start of the night's A main. Henderson was unharmed, but his night was finished. The second start would be much cleaner. Kerry Madsen races into the lead, but how about Logan Schuhart? The 1S jumps from 8th to 3rd right off the green flag, then swipes the silver spot from Dominic Scelzi before the end of lap 1. Not much change at the front after that. Madsen led all 25 laps for the win, with Schuhart, Shane Stewart, and Scelzi claiming those last 3 transfer spots. But it all came down to this: 50 laps for $150,000 in the main event of the 59th annual Knoxville Nationals. Aaron Reitzel led the field to green, but he get tested right off the bat. Lap 2, the Brownsburg Bullet, Joey Saldana, overtakes him for the lead. Reitzel, though, answers right back. The 87 regains the top spot on lap 4. But David Gravel was on a mission. Lap 10, the 41 picks off Saldana for 2nd, then starts to reel in Reitzel. He caught him 4 trips later, and it would prove to be the final lead change of the night. Gravel pulls away from the field to claim his 3rd victory of the week, not to mention his first Knoxville Nationals championship. It's the 2nd for Jason Johnson Racing since 2016, and they brought the whole crew to celebrate. So Gravel got the big check, but the guys he shared the podium with deserve some recognition for their runs as well. Logan Schuhart charged all the way from 22nd to earn runner-up honors, while Darren Pittman climbed 7 spots to finish 3rd. Tim Kading and Reitzel rounded out the top 5. A few other notables we want to mention as well, particularly the guys of local interest. Donnie Schatz with another great run Saturday, although it wasn't what we've become accustomed to seeing out of the 15. Schatz qualified again through the B, then moved up 9 spots to claim a 9th place finish. Elsewhere in the A, kind of a disappointing night for Matt Jewell. The 09 went the wrong direction, dropping 6 spots to come home in 18th. Meanwhile, Mark Dobmeyer came up just a little short of the big show. Dynamite's Nationals ended with a 6th-place finish in Saturday's B Main.
Brian Shaw, Chris Schierick here at Knoxville Raceway to wrap things up for the 59th annual Knoxville Nationals. And what a tremendous A main, Chris. David Gravel was on the front row. He was really the car to beat all week. And frankly, if he was going to be able to just maintain his spot, keep his lines, he was going to be fine.
Yeah, David, he's got a good team behind him. He was fast all week, like you said, and like you also mentioned, it was his race to lose. Start towards the front. All you got to do is get in clean air and let her sing. So it's good to see David win his first one here.
Yeah, Jason Johnson, the late Jason Johnson a few years ago, was in victory lane with that same 41 car. Donnie Schatz had a problem early with the throttle, had some mud actually stuck in the car, had to go all the way to the back of the pack, still worked himself into a top 10.
Yeah, and it's a little drama there. You always want to see, past champions, fight for the finish. Brad Sweet was about top 5. Donnie Schatz came through the B, so he was about 15th or so when the problems occurred. And they weren't really a factor. Like we mentioned, it was David's race from really start to finish.
And how about Logan Schuchart? Started like 21st in this event, drove all the way up to second. Had he had a caution, Chris, that could have made things interesting in the last 5 laps.
Yeah, typically the cautions here come about 5 laps to go, and if that were the case, I think we would be talking about a different champion here today.
Yeah, Logan Schuchart, second at Eldora in the Kings Royal, second year at the Knoxville Nationals. A bright future for that young man. Thanks for being here once again, Chris.
Yeah, thanks. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
That'll do it from here at the sprint car capital of the world.
Saturday was bittersweet for one of Knoxville's most iconic figures. We'll catch up with Hall of Fame flagman Doug Clark when we come back.
Midco Motorsports on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Speedway.
Doug Clark has been a fixture in the flag stand for 4 decades, starting his career at Hartford Speedway back in the 1970s. Since that time, he's flagged races at dozens of tracks in 19 states, including Knoxville Raceway. But this season will be his last. Brian Shaw has more with the 2016 Sprint Car Hall of Fame inductee.
For nearly 4 decades, Sioux Falls native Doug Clark has been dropping the green flag at Knoxville Raceway, driving 320 miles one way every week.
The first one at the beginning of the year, that's the toughest one. After that, you just kind of gas it up and you go, and that to me is no big deal. I can more or less tell you where every bump is in the road and where every crack is in another part of it.
But Doug hasn't made that journey alone. His son Justin came along for the ride, assisting his father and following in his footsteps.
When I was younger, I was in sports and he has gone racing, and so we never spent a lot of time together, especially in the summer. But so that's kind of how I wanted to start it, or why I wanted to do it more. And now it's just become part of the normal thing. We ride down here together a lot.
We don't talk a whole lot. We don't talk a whole lot in the car. It's just he knows what I want done, and I know how he's going to do it, and I know everything that he's done, he does a good job at it, so he's a good kid behind me.
But after climbing up these stairs hundreds of times over the years, this season will be Doug's last, with Justin taking over.
It's, what do they call it, bittersweet end or the things and things like that, so it'll all be good and it'll all work out the end.
I didn't know if he would ever quit or if I would end before he did, but I think, it'll be good so he can enjoy something that he's helped build up to such a big thing, where, made a great name for himself around the country and around the world.
But no matter what's happening, I'm still going to do my job the way I do it.
Over the years, Clark has become as big of a name to the fans as the drivers, earning respect for the job he has done to maintain order on the track and, most importantly, keep everyone safe.
It makes you feel good, yes it does. I don't know if I earned all of it, but it makes you feel good when a driver comes up and congratulates you, or a fan comes up and congratulates you on the good year, or the job I did and things like that. I want to take that with me.
he's set such a high standard of what drivers and other officials and fans expect.
For the last 36 years, this has been Doug Clark's office. And although he's throwing the checkered on his flagging career, that doesn't mean he's still not going to be hanging around the track.
I'll be down in the infield doing something. If nothing else, I'll be in the grandstand, drink a beer. I don't make a good spectator, trust me. I am probably the worst spectator in the world.
I've been telling people they'll probably get down in the front of me and probably end up throwing dirt clogs at me all night if I mess up or don't see a start right. Or
With his final Knoxville Nationals in the books, only a few races remain for the veteran flagman. As for regrets, well, he does have one.
If I would have known I was going to do it this long, I would have bought a house down there and had it paid for by now, so.
Clark's finale at Knoxville will be the Lucas Oil Late Model Nationals, which are set for September 12th through the 14th. However, this past Saturday, he was surprised by friends and family with a trip to Australia, and it's quite possible that he may do some flagging there coming up this winter. Protection is the name of the game for Bell helmets. We'll learn more about some of the latest advancements in racing safety next. Safety is priority one for drivers when they strap into their race cars, and the technology that keeps them protected is constantly changing. Our Brian Shawn caught up with a man in Knoxville that knows all about that.
Here in Knoxville, Iowa, with Chris Wheeler, who is the director of motorsports for Bell Helmets. And Bell Helmets has had a lot of success here at Knoxville Raceway over the years. I did not realize that coming into this Nationals, all but 6 of the winners were wearing Bell helmets when they were standing in victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Bell's been around since 1954. All but 6 have been won by a Bell, and there's 3 of them we don't know. There's 3 we know it's definite was not a Bell helmet that was being worn by the winner, but there's another 3, I should say, that are just unknown. We haven't been able to exactly find out.
So you guys come out here, obviously, and helmet technology has come so far. I mean, every year there's new innovations, new ways. Who do you guys work with to try to get these helmets up to snuff with a lot of the athletes that wear them?
So at our factory, we have an entire group of engineers that have been with our brand and our program for a long time. And they've got their own testing facility there in the office. But we also like to work with our athletes a lot. What do they like about something? What would they like to make changes to? We take all of that into consideration. Another thing, too, is when things don't go right. When we have a bad accident, we take those helmets back and we do full detailed investigations and really help kind of break down what we're doing and how we can be better.
I know the key is weight and then impact. How do you continue to innovate and find products that can do both of those things? Because those 2 things don't seem like they should go together.
They don't. I feel like that every time we turn around, there's more and more new things available still, which is hard to believe. With your different composites and your different layups of carbon, different strands, different impact foam, different ways to actually protect your brain. Doctors are learning more about it. We're learning more about it, and we just continue to evolve and to be able to absorb the energy better, keep you safe in the race car, but also keep it as light as possible. And the weight really comes in on mental and physical fatigue. 50 laps around this place is physically demanding. It's mentally demanding. So a lot of our guys choose our product because they feel that they have an advantage on their competitors just by wearing that helmet.
What's the most fun part of this for you? I know I see you talking to a lot of people out here about these different helmets technology. What are the most common questions?
Well, you asked what the most enjoyable part was, and that's probably winning races with our athletes is fantastic. We're really passionate about it. Our entire staff has come from the competitive motorsports side at one point, and when you've been on the competitive side of motorsports for so long, it's really difficult to step back out of it and not have something you're competing for. So we count those wins as our team wins. It keeps us really engaged and really proud of what we're doing here. But more than that, it's when the guy has a big one. It's Clint Garner at the 360 Nationals when he flipped massively here off of turn number 4 and he walked away and he came up to say thank you. That's why we do it. We're here because of our passion. Our staff is dedicated 100% to doing everything we can to make sure that the users of our products get to go home to their family every night.
How long does it take to develop a new helmet, a new way of technology?
About 14 months. I'd say from concept to production. And that includes all of your initial drawing, getting it into CAD, and then the engineering side of getting the foam to match up to the liner, and then the molds, then to testing, and then to secondary testing and third testing, and making revisions and going back for more testing, making them stronger, lighter, better. all while increasing your numbers on the tests, to then go into production phase and then getting them back to the retailers.
Well, Chris, we appreciate the time, man, and enjoy the week, and we'll catch up with you down the road, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks for having us, and if you're at home checking us out, hopefully you're here at Knoxville this weekend.
Coming up, we'll shift the spotlight back to the Dakotas after this. It paled in comparison to the cash being thrown around in Iowa last week, but River Cities definitely sweetened the pot for the street stocks, with the track offering $1,200 to win the annual special. Big money, of course, meant big numbers. A field of 36 cars whittled down to 25 for the start of the main event. None of them, though, was better than the 46 of Johnny Carter, which has been the case pretty much everywhere it's raced this season. The Lisbon native already had wins at 8 different tracks coming into the night, and you can add River Cities to that list. Overall, that's now 18 victories for Carter in 2019. In the NOSA sprints, Austin Pearce looking to get back on track after a rough outing the week before, but thanks to some mechanical trouble early in the night, he'd have to come from the 7th row to do it. Wade Nygaard was the guy he'd be trying to track down. The 9N took command from the pole, but caution flags gave guys like Pearce a chance, and the 2A would capitalize on lap 20. Pearce slides by Nygaard for the lead, and he would finish it off from there, giving him 4 wins in his last 5 attempts at River Cities.
I knew I'd have my work cut out, but I knew it was doable. We've done it before, so I just had to be patient, be consistent, and make good laps.
Pole setter Ryan Corbett committed to the top right off the start of the Wissota late model feature, and he refused to let it go. Even after Brandon Fuller used the bottom to steal the lead, Corbett still wouldn't budge. It proved to be the right move, though, as the C4 responded a couple of trips later. Corbett would get tested again over the final few laps, with Joey Peterson and Dustin Strand applying pressure. But Corbett again equal to the task as he holds on for his first win at RCS in quite some time.
Special win for me to be here. Yeah. I mean, I don't know it might have been 15 years. I took a few years off, but yeah, I mean, like I said, even starting on the pole, that's the worst feeling for me. Yeah. And then you never get prepared to, I don't prepare myself to talk to anybody at the end of these nights. There's too many good guys here.
To West Fargo now, where there was a family theme to the first part of Friday's Sport Mods feature. Riley Saylor tried to regain control following a lap 4 restart, but his cousin wanted the bragging rights. Brandon Ferris sneaks past to the inside, and that would do it. Ferris leads the final 16 laps for his first career feature victory. Couple of big-time movers in the Legends division. Andrew Jokum made his mark first, completing the climb from 9th in just 3 laps. Ty Wilkie charging as well, though. It took a little longer for him, but Wilkie blows past Brody Karlsrud and Ryan Braceth for second with 8 to go. Wilkie set his sights on Jokum after that, but his charge would get interrupted with a couple of laps left. Scary moment as the 20 car of Alex Braceth catches fire in turn 4. Great response from the track crew, though, and that helps ensure Braceth is able to get out of the car unharmed. The late caution brought on a green-white checkered finish, and that belonged to Jokum. The Glendon, Minnesota native holds on to secure his first win of the year at Red River Valley. The season is winding down at Nobles County Speedway, but will it be the last? We'll consider that track's questionable future after this.
Midco Motorsports on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Speedway.
Welcome back. The 2019 season has not exactly been one to remember for Nobles County Speedway. In addition to the weather issues that plagued most facilities in our region, consistently low car counts and poor attendance have left track officials pondering the future of the racetrack in a very serious way. Thursday, they tried to put all that aside to attempt to have a little fun at the fair. A total of 5 features on the night, and 2 of them were worth another look. Things got messy at the start for the B-Mod. Several cars get tangled up at the drop of the green flag. 4 of them would not be able to continue, so just like that, the field is cut from 15 to 11. When racing resumed, two guys put on a whale of a show. Josh Roney in the 8X squaring off with the 7C of Cole Christensen, and it's Christensen grabbing the early edge with a topside pass in turn 2. A couple of restarts later, Roney returns the favor. He goes high to get back in front. But this was a battle that would come down to the final turn, and that's where Christensen wins it. The first victory of the 2019 season for the 7C, and it was a dandy. More fun stuff in the stock car feature. It looked like Jackson, Minnesota's Luke Sadoff might run away with this race early on, but he'd eventually run into a pretty unique roadblock. Another competitor clipped one of the tires on the inside of the track, sending it rolling into traffic. That brought out the caution, of course, and ultimately cost Sadoff the lead. Roger Verdorn and Darren Cordles both got by him shortly after the restart. Sadoff kept fighting, though, and it paid off. The 5-car surges back to the lead a couple of laps later, and this time he stayed there. Sadoff goes on to pick up his 4th win of the season at Nobles County. All right, with that, we wave the checkered flag at another season of Midco Motorsports. Special thanks to all the track promoters, officials, and drivers for being so accommodating to our camera crews all season long. And most importantly, thanks to you at home for watching. For Brian Shawn and our producer, Greg Ankers, I'm Jay Elson. Enjoy the races, everyone. We'll see you back here next summer.